This week on Storytime at the Roo Bus, we're talking about a lot of news that has cropped up, like Roo Radio coming back. That's a big deal, right, dog? Also, Matty is talking with one of our Wednesday headliners.
Welcome to Storytime at the Roo Bus, a weekly podcast about Bonnaroo and other festivals. I'm your host, Sharla.
Hey everybody, it's Daniel. So we're back in the house this week. I try to take it to a different, background and location every week, but I'm going to be honest, it's been raining a lot here in Huntsville, and I didn't want to fool around with hooking up the bus and everything this week. We'll be back there soon. Now, guys, I know there has been a lot of news this past week. We're going to go through quite a bit of it here in just a minute. This is going to be a wild episode. So we have our friend Matty on, who is interviewing one of the big artists that's going to be playing the Wednesday show. You probably already looked in the show notes and know who it is anyways, but we'll save a little suspense if you're just listening and didn't read that. Matty and Andrew do a fantastic job putting the Wednesday party together. They have got a pretty big artist this year, and it's not Cherub that he's talking to, although we're always talking to them. We'll see what we can do with that. But listen for that later in the episode. We got a lot to go over, but first of all, how you been doing? You been busy?
I've been really busy, but it's getting to the slow time at work, so I'm able to really have some downtime in the month of December.
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, if anybody knows where I work, things were a little quiet last month, obviously, but things are picking back up. We're starting to plan for next year. It's a lot of fun. Y'all know me. I love my job, so I'm glad to be back at it and talking about all the nerdy stuff that we go through over there every day. But we're not here to talk about that, unless you want to. I'll talk with you all day about it. But we are here to talk about Bonnaroo. We got a lot to get into.
A lot to cover.
So just a few hours ago, probably like 5 hours ago, as of the time that we're recording this, we got a surprise announcement that Roo Radio is going to be back.
Is coming back. And from what I have read, the last year that Roo Radio was in existence was around 2016 or so.
Was it really?
Yes, according to the comments that I've seen.
Okay.
I didn't go back and research it, but according to the comments, it was around 2016 or so when Roo Radio existed last. And Roo Radio was this really, really super cool thing where you could tune into a local radio station from Manchester or from Coffee County, the local area, when you're driving into Bonnaroo, when you were driving into Bonnaroo. And they gave like really good traffic updates and just super, super cool stuff.
A lot of people mentioned that it would have come in handy this past year when we were dying for like any updates during the rain and mud and everything. And honestly, I think they heard us, obviously, because it's coming back. But a lot of people were talking about that online, and it wasn't really like complaints. It was like a legitimate point that it really would have come in handy in that situation.
Right, exactly. I know a lot of people were saying they truly did not know about the cancellation last year because they weren't looking at their phone or they didn't have phone service. So it was like hours after the cancellation happened when they actually found out. So something like Roo Radio could definitely come in handy in that case.
Yeah, I agree. And it is a ton of fun too. I also want to give a shout out to Brian Stone, who I totally recommend to be a DJ with him. I know he's talked about that. He's talked about how that was such a thrill when he did get to do that. You guys know him from the What podcast. I totally endorse him to come on the air and pick some songs and just talk about bullshit like he does.
Well, it hasn't been announced yet who, they're going to have or any lineup or anything like that. But it has been announced that it's going to be on 101.5 The Rooster, which is out of Manchester. Their studio is actually in McMinnville, which is a little bit north of Manchester. And we don't know if this is going to be pre-recorded or how it's really going to work yet. It's just that it's coming back. It's what we truly know for now.
Yeah, I imagine there will be a lot that's live if they want to be able to do emergency updates. We may have a hand in it. We'll know more soon. We'll let you know when we do, but I do think we're going to do like 1 hour slot with some podcast type material from this show. Something a little different. We might pick some songs, but we'll talk way more about that later. All right, next up. Let's talk about these videos and bits of news that we've gotten about improvements on the farm. So hopefully you all have seen those drone videos by now. I know they talked about it extensively on the What podcast, so I'm not going to talk about the same things that they already did. But I do want to also put a big stamp of endorsement on this because it was direly needed. Obviously, if you were there last year, you know. But we have been very lucky that we didn't get big rains at Bonnaroo in the past 10 years, that it only really happened last year while we were there. I think, from what I have seen and what I understand, this is going to mitigate that problem extensively. They have done some crazy work. Did you see those videos of those drones?
Yes, I absolutely did.
From those drones.
And one of the concerns that I was seeing out there floating around is, well, didn't they already promise this in 2021? But we weren't seeing anything that they did in 2021. They weren't putting out the social media content like they are now, which is amazing. And I think it resonates more and communicates better with fans.
That is a very good point. I think they are doing a lot more these days. And obviously, because they know that we're invested, Corey and his crew over at C3, Live Nation, whatever you want to call them, they have been publishing those videos. The video with the guy that's the groundskeeper, they did a fantastic job with that. I do want to give you a couple of details that I personally learned, just kind of doing the rounds, talking with people I know that are involved at Roo. There obviously are a lot of new roads. You can see in that video, there's a lot of new roads in the group area that we know very well. It'll make it easier for people to get in and out over there. There's some new ones for the RV section, because obviously you need that for a giant heavy vehicle. We know a thing or two about that. Also, I understand there are a lot of new French drains in some key places. One is the back 40 area, where a lot of like the volunteer and staff, whoever it may be back there. I've never actually been back there. You know, I've heard that it does flood easily back there though. And some other French drains are also installed inside Bonnaroo. I understand there's a bunch around where the witch stage is and a lot of other key places too. So they have taken this very seriously. They have done a ton of work. They've put their money where their mouth is with this.
Okay, for those of us who know nothing about landscaping, nothing about nothing, what is a French drain?
Okay.
I don't know what that is. I know you put one out in the shower.
Yeah.
But...
So I am not an engineer. I'm not a person that does this professionally. I just know barely a little bit. But basically what you do is you dig kind of like a little trench, and then you fill it up with like usually rocks, I guess. And the water will drain kind of sort of underground. They do like a very extensive version of this at like baseball stadiums, for example. So it will dry really easy if it comes like a big toad strangler gully washer in the summertime during the season.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. So they have done a lot of those kind of things as well. But I'm going to refer you to the What podcast, because that is their area, and I'm sure they're going to talk way more about it in the future. They love all the nitty gritty and behind the scenes kind of things.
Oh, they're landscapers, all of them? No, I'm playing.
I know Barry's done a lot of work around his house. He knows a thing or two.
You did. The only thing I know about a French drain is we were installing an outdoor shower. I was building an outdoor shower, and Daniel was like, oh, I got to put a French drain in there for you.
I don't remember where I learned it. I just did like a very small version of it.
Probably from your mom, I'm sure.
Probably from my mom, yeah. All right. Again, I'll leave that to the What podcast. They know way more about the behind the scenes things like that than we do. I do want to talk a little bit more about the clues and leaks as well. So last week, just, quickly during the middle of that ladies episode, we talked about Skrillex and Weird Al. There were a couple other ones that I personally found interesting. This has been a while back. This was like 3 or 4 weeks ago at this point, but the owl kind of sort of confirmed Turnstile, which I'm very excited about. I saw them at Okeechobee, I guess 2 or 3 years ago, whatever it was. Oh my gosh. It's such a fun, like hardcore / punk show. Do you know anything about them?
A little bit, like vaguely.
Would you go if it didn't conflict with anything?
Depends on who else. It completely depends on the schedule.
Would you be okay with things getting violent in the pit for that?
Like I said, it just depends on the schedule, man.
I did the stupid thing of wearing flip-flops to the Turnstile pit when I was at Okeechobee.
Oh my goodness.
Those flip-flops did not
never
survive.
Wear flip-flops in a pit. Never wear closed-toed shoes in a pit.
Closed-toed? You mean open-toed?
I never wear open-toed shoes. Always wear closed-toed shoes.
Yeah.
I do not wear, I'll bring some flip-flops for the showers or around camp, but I do not wear open-toed shoes at Bonnaroo, because I've heard way too many stories about toenails getting ripped off, and that's...
I don't know if you remember this, but I'll tell a quick story. Way back in the day, I think it was 2014, we had just seen Vampire Weekend at the What. It was like mid-afternoon, and we were leaving to go to another show. I can't remember who it was, but it had rained a fair bit before Roo that year, back in 14, and it kind of looked like it was going to rain. In fact, Andrea was talking about that this past week on our Discord, about how there was a rainbow that year.
Yeah.
I missed it. I didn't see it. I was distracted with something. But anyways, I wore flip-flops that day, and we're leaving Vampire Weekend, and I stepped in a big thing of mud, and I had to go barefoot the rest of the day.
I remember that,
Yeah.
yes. Didn't you lose one of them?
Yeah.
One of them just came up, one of them is still buried on the farm, is what you're saying.
Could be. I was like, well, I guess I'm just wooking it the rest of the day. I went to another show barefoot until we went back to, did we have the trailer at that time? This was way before the bus.
I don't remember.
I can't. It all blends together.
I don't think that bothered you at all, because
No.
you never wear shoes.
No, didn't at all.
That's your whole thing.
Now, the other Roo Clue confirmation that was just a couple of days ago, I want your take on this. This guy, The Dare, he's DJ'd with Charlie XCX. I think he produced a song or two with her. He's kind of like an acolyte of LCD Sound System. Did you listen to any of this guy's songs?
I have not listened to his music per se, but I know him from that one song that's The Girls Who Do Drugs. I like the girls that do drugs. That's all I know about The Dare.
I was playfully, kind of, making fun of him on Discord and stuff yesterday because I was convinced for all of 2 minutes that it was going to be LCD Sound System. But, I gave him a chance. I'm like, yeah, I actually don't hate this. I do think it's a good pick. I was kind of like being playful about it yesterday, and I apologize. That's not my brand. I shouldn't be down on anybody. I listened to it, and I'm like, yeah, I can see myself going to this if there wasn't anything conflicting. I think he's a good pick to bring in kind of like the younger crowd that has been following all of the Bratness the past couple of years. But yeah, I don't know if we're getting any more clues or not, but I do know that won't matter very soon, if you know what I mean. Speaking of very soon, we're going to get to that interview that Matty did with the mystery band here in just a moment. But I do want to let you know we have a lot coming up. We have to be careful about what we say here, but it's almost lineup time, and we always do some fun stuff around the lineup. So we are going to do our panel that we always do after the lineup is out, whenever that may be. We're going to have a person from InfoRoo. We're going to have some of our crew. I'm going to ask some of the other podcasts if they want to send a representative. We want to have a panel from all over the Roo community so everybody can give their take about what they like, what they might not like on the lineup, and we'll all have our picks for, the top acts that we want to go see. Also, you may have seen on Instagram, I am very happy to tell you that we are going to have some of the boys from Old Crow Medicine Show on very soon. I almost slipped the date. Yeah, Sharla's tickled pink about this. We don't know exactly who it's going to be. It might be Ketch. It might be some of the other guys. We're waiting for confirmation on that. But they are a big friend of Bonnaroo. They've been there many times. They were at the first Bonnaroo. I don't know if they're there this year or not. I hope they are. But we want to have them on anyway. They're promoting a Christmas record that they just put out a couple of weeks ago, just in time. You should go listen on Spotify if you haven't already. And we're very excited to have them on, obviously. We also are going to have some of the guys that put Bonnaroo together. So Corey, who many of you know, we talk about on the show. He is active on the Festiverse Discord. He's going to be on. And we're also going to have Tim Tuba Smith. I don't think there's any relation there.
I was going to say, are they related?
I don't think so, but we'll ask him. Tuba is kind of basically Corey's boss, if I understand the org chart right. We'll see. But we're going to have them both on very soon to talk about, like, hey, how did this lineup come together? How are the changes coming around? What do you want to ask them?
I haven't thought about it yet.
Well, you got some time to think about it.
No, I have thought about it, but I'm gonna save my question.
Oh, I have many questions, but some of them might not necessarily be for the podcast. But just letting you know what's coming up. Now, we're going to get to the interview in a moment, but of course, we got to get through some totem stuff real quick. Before we get to the Patreon, you had something launch yesterday or today.
I did. So we have a totem merch store now. And you can go online and find the link. It's in all of our social media. It's on our Discord. It's actually bonfire.com/store/totemfnd. But you can get totem different colored t-shirts. You can get totem tie-dye t-shirts. You can get totem hoodies, totem water bottles, coffee mug, bandanas, a bucket hat, all sorts of stuff. And it supports the Totem Foundation. We've already made several sales today, and thank you guys so much for that. But if you want to order, make sure you do it within the next 5 days, because I believe the items do ship out in batches, and the batch is going out in like 5 days, and that will ensure it arrives on time for Christmas.
Sweet. Too bad you didn't make a Totem branded radio in time for all of this.
Well, speaking of that, so we also raise funds for Totem through our Amazon storefront. And I actually changed the Amazon storefront. This is getting a little in the weeds, but I changed the Amazon storefront recently from Roobus to Totem, just to have that more forward-facing look. And I put a radio on there today. So if Totem merch is not your thing, you can shop through that Amazon storefront link, and a proceeds from your purchase will go to Totem at no additional cost.
I can't wait to blast Roo Radio on the JBLs at the Monkey Bar in, 7 months?
I did put a radio on there.
Yeah. Also, on the Totem front, I want to let you know we have a lot of events coming up. So the first one on the docket is in Jersey City. I know we got a lot of people in the New York area. So that is going to be on Wednesday, December 10th Evan and Skylar have been putting that together. Check the Totem socials for more details. Again, that is Wednesday, December 10th in Jersey City. Also, we have one coming up in Huntsville, just a couple of days after Christmas. If you're in town, if you're around, we'd love to see you. It's going to be at the Speakeasy at Straight to L at Campus 805. Of course it is. Again, that is Saturday, December 27th. We're going to have some fun with that. We're going to have a couple of local DJs come play for us. We're going to do a costume contest. Come dressed as your favorite musician or like a musical pun or something like that. Brooklyn has already had some like off-the-chain insane ideas. I don't even want to repeat it on here. Also, there are 2 coming in January. There's going to be one in Nashville. There's going to be one in Atlanta. Announcements and dates are coming soon on that. We're still kind of finalizing some details. The Nashville one is potentially going to be very fun. It'll be in East Nashville, as you might imagine, at a venue that we haven't been at before, but I'm excited to be at. I've heard nothing but good things.
I mean, I've been there.
Oh, yeah, you have. Anyway,
Me and Amanda went.
Announcements coming soon. We're still waiting to finalize things. All right, Patreon. We want to thank you all. Everything that we're doing through Totem is happening in large part thanks to you. I talked with our 2 rounds of previous scholars the other night. They are all doing fantastic things. I'm so proud of them. They're going to be doing even more this coming year. In fact, they are going to be hosting an episode of the podcast before too long.
I'm very excited about that.
Sometime in the next month or 2, we're going to have only them hosting the podcast. We actually have 2 of our scholars that have done radio, so they're going to be hosting it and having the rest of them on as well.
Also, a reminder about our 6 in 26 campaign. That is our 2025 end-of-year campaign. We want to send 6 young adults to Bonnaroo in June of 2026, so 6 in 26. In the past, we've always sent 3. This year, we plan to send 6, and we cannot do that without your help. As always, you can support in multiple different ways. totemfnd.org, click on the donate button, or patreon.com/RooBus. That's the easiest ways.
Yeah, speaking of Patreon, let's list our supporters.
Okay, we've got Imani, Bradley, Jared, Olivia, Claire, John, Lexi, Danny, Lisa, Delaney, John with Texas Roo Crew, Brady, I Am Rave Dad, Courtney, Casey with Texas Roo Crew, Christy, Jums, David and Aurora, Stingbean, Zach and Jeremy, Amber, Andrea, JB, Sam, Austin, James, Hygiene Queen, Chris and Shy, Dan, Ernst, Harris, Keith, Casey, Nick, Matty, Bruce, Kent, Andrew, Randy, Bosco, Eric and Ben, Evan, Chloe, and Sean.
Yes, thank you, everyone. We talk about this every week, but thank you so much. We couldn't be doing everything that we're doing without you. The bulk of the income for Totem comes from our Patreon. We do have great one-time donations every now and then, and fundraisers like what we're doing, you know, in Jersey City and Huntsville help a lot. But the Patreon is the main source, I'm going to be honest.
We do have people that donate monthly through our Give Butter account.
That's true.
Yes, through our website as well.
Thank you to you as well.
Thank you so much.
All right, we've gone through quite a bit. Let's go ahead and get to our interview that our buddy Matty from Atlanta did with our Mystery Wednesday guest. We'll be right back with you with some other tea after that.
All right, welcome back to Storytime with the Roo Bus. I am not Daniel and Sharla, who you probably expect. I'm Matty Chap, and they've asked me to guest host a very special segment tonight. Many of you already know me from Bonnaroo, from the Discord, or group camping. For those of you that are not aware of me, I am one of the 2 campers in group, along with Andrew Kilo, that book, promote, and plan the Wednesday campground kickoff event. We've done it for the last 2 years, and this is me officially announcing for the first time that we're going to be bringing that event back next year. It went so well with Ari at Home, Future Joy, Cherub, our Daft Punk surprise, which kind of blew some minds. I appreciate that. I hope nobody was disappointed to realize it's not the real Daft Punk, but it was a lot of fun. And because of that, Bonnaroos asked us to collaborate with other campers. Some of the people that were a part of it last year, like the Bonnaroo team, who threw some music down on Tuesday, and some new individuals like the Fractal Bloom group out of Nashville, who I became friends with at Halloween Music Festival. We're all going to be collaborating to make another great event on Wednesday this year, upcoming at Bonnaroo, and as well as Thursday after the headline set is done. In anticipation of that, Andrew and I have begun booking, and I say it's the 2 of us. I just want to give a quick shout out. We cannot do without the community. Thank you to everybody who's pitched in over the years. The Totem Foundation, who the entire event is in support of. The Rubus, our friends Daniel and Sharla, and everyone else who've done a lot to help out. Individuals like Mike Nash, our good friend Brent Jackson, who helped us with the artists we're going to be introducing you today. And a number of other people have really made this become a humongous, unofficial, official event, a DIY festival within the festival that we're really excited about. And a lot of that excitement today comes from the fact that we are here today with Justin Osborne, who is the creative talent behind the band SUSTO, as well as a few other projects. I was lucky enough to see him on the Hallow stage at Halloween with the SUSTO string band, which is really awesome. And he is the first of our headlining acts we're announcing for next year. It's going to be a part of the Wednesday festivities. Thank you for joining us, Justin.
Thanks for having me, Matty. It's a pleasure to be on, and we're stoked to be coming as well to play.
Yeah, it's going to be a really great time. I know there's a lot of people out there that are already fans of yours, but just kind of like I was introducing myself for those that might not know. Could you give us a little bit of background about yourself, SUSTO, some of your other projects?
Yeah. So I'm Justin Osborne, and I am the singer and founder of the band SUSTO, which is a rock band sort of, and I also have a band called SUSTO String Band, which you just referenced. We just played at Halloween recently. That's more of like an old time approach to the band, but it's a lot of my same songs. And also I'm a solo artist, but I'm basically a singer and a songwriter, and SUSTO is my music project with a lot of my friends, and same as SUSTO String Band. Yeah, and I've been doing it for a long time, I guess. I was in a lot of bands before SUSTO. I started SUSTO in 2014, and I lived in Charleston, South Carolina for a long time, and then Asheville, North Carolina for a little bit, and now I live in Austin, Texas. Sort of split my time between here and South Carolina, but yeah, and
Now,
that's me.
for the people listening here that might not know you yet, the SUSTO String Band, you just released your first string band official album, correct?
Right.
Earlier
Yeah,
this year?
we put that out back in March. And that was sort of started as just like an accident, but then because I was living in Asheville, and I was around a lot of old time and bluegrass like musicians, and it just sort of happened. And it's been fun to have actually made a record of these tunes and be playing shows. Like Halloween was a blast. That was a really cool one for us, and
That was
we
a
were
ton of
really
fun for me as
stoked to be
well.
invited for it. Thank you.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned the more old time roots that go into the string band. During that set, I think I remember you covered the Carter Family. You also
Yeah.
gave us what was the like old school hymn, Down by the River? Yeah, really cool. I think there was also Still Win by John Anderson in there, right?
Yeah, well, we were in Florida, like we'd done our first like real tour like in Florida earlier this year, and we had learned Seminole Wind while we were down there, and it was good to be back and play that one because we love that John Anderson song, and just I love that song so much.
Great song. You guys did an awesome rendition of it.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a great crew. That band is really fun. It's like a collaboration between myself and this band Holler Choir from Asheville, and that's been a lot of fun to do. And also, it's cool because I really love that music and like the traditional stuff. But it's cool to be able to bounce in between that and the rock band stuff, which is what I've sort of continued to do because I don't know. It's nice to be doing both worlds, um, and blending them together at times too, with the two bands together. But it is like two distinct bands, but it's been a lot of fun to do that. I also have a songwriting project with my wife called Biscuit and Gravy. She's Biscuit and I'm Gravy, and we actually write a lot of songs together for SUSTO and other projects. But Biscuit and Gravy is like our project, and yeah, I'm trying to. Feel like I was reminded about that as we were talking because the string band, it's like it sort of happened when she and I met, and we have this some of the songs that we write together are sort of about how all this stuff comes together, and it's just like I don't know, it's weird songwriting and playing music with people and relationships and how it all becomes such a big centerpiece in your life is really cool. But
It's interesting you talk about separating those older influences in the string band with what you do in the rock band. And obviously the, SUSTO project as the rock band is a much more traditional rock sound. But to me as a fan, there is a lot of traditional influence in it too. Those old style vibes,
for sure.
reminiscent of the classic folk where you are very divulgent. It's like you're letting the listener into a part of your life in the way you're telling these stories as a songwriter. Do you think that there's a place those two meld for you?
Yeah, I think, like I've always been a part of sort of rock music scenes, if that makes sense. Like my friends and a lot of my collaborators, were not currently, that's sort of shifted a little bit, but like it was, I feel like I grew up around that sort of music a lot just because of growing up in in a pretty old school religious, like rural Southern landscape, and I think different folks in the indie rock scene that was touring with and stuff, like I was just like always like in the indie rock scene, but just sort of had this influence and something, and it's always the music I liked listening to and everything. And not that none of my friends did. It was just like sort of I was the one that sort of nerded out on it a little bit. At least I thought I did. And then when I actually like got involved with string band players, I learned so much. It was this whole world that I had never even knew existed. And it's been fun. I feel like that is currently influencing the rock band too, because like it is still sort of, I mean, everybody, it's meant to be sort of like a little bit of a fleeting thing. We're doing it, we're playing a lot of shows, and I'm sure we'll take a hiatus at some point though, so I can sort of focus on the rock band again. Um, but it's been cool to just, as I'm making a new rock band record, to be like bringing those influences into that. I'm really excited for that. It's been a really fun experience, and it's like a learning experience for me. Like I always had an interest and a limited exposure to this like whole side of the scene, and the history of it, and now I'm just like sort of having a master class like via my bandmates and like the whole experience. But
So I grew up big into folk rock myself, into a lot of those classic sounds. Like I was saying, listening to My Entire Life for Time in the Sun, I hear those influences in your songwriting. You are divulging something personal and it's coming through to the audience very directly. I take it a lot of your work is autobiographical. I think you just froze on me. Give it one
man,
second. We might have to catch back up.
yeah, I lost you in the middle of
Hey,
that.
Justin, hold on one sec. For a second. You just dropped for a second. We'll have you start that answer again whenever you're back.
Okay, I actually didn't hear the end of your question. So could
I
you
was just
restate?
saying, listening to My Entire Life to Time in the Sun, there's a very divulgent experience as a listener. You seem to be very autobiographical in your music. Are you trying to tell personal stories? And when you're writing those songs, are you thinking about the experience both for the record and for live? Sometimes I feel like there's a disconnect between the way songs translate to those two experiences.
Yeah, I feel like I've started to become uh more aware of like how a song is going to be, be brought to life live, and I think a lot of that is because like my songwriting predates my like career as a performer and a touring musician and everything, and there are a lot of facets to how I feel about songwriting, um that like are informed by like a compulsion to like be honest and like or like almost like forthcoming with experience, whether it be like mundane or questionable or whatever, like I don't know, like, or joyful or like triumphant. I feel like there like there's like, you use the term autobiographical, and I think that's true it's not all about me necessarily. It's about experiences and things that I've been directly exposed to or have firsthand knowledge of or things like that. But like, um, yeah, I mean, it's like I appreciate you sort of noting that because it is like something that from the beginning of, especially Susto, that's when because I was in bands before. I've been writing songs since I was like 12 years old. You know, you start to develop this relationship with it. For me, at least, I'm writing in with. I've written with lots of people. I've released lots of records. I've seen what sort of works in my sphere live and what doesn't. Uh, to me, like, the live sphere has almost informed it in this cool way because the live sphere feels like the ritual and like the writing and you're writing for the ritual that happens in private sometimes for people when they're listening to music by themselves or like in smaller groups and some but then there's also it's like it's for that ritual space too, which is when we all come together for live music, you know. And all of those things excite me a lot when I'm thinking about my relationship to music as a fan. What gets me feeling like I'm almost having a religious experience, or excuse the term, I don't really mean that. Like, I mean that in the most like open, like human way, right? It's a human thing, you know. And then also it's maybe happening because like there was a song that you heard in a group of close friends or like on a playlist you were listening to that like hit you, you know. And like it's like I don't know, it's just like when a band can create like a vibe that you can live inside of, like that's what I love as a fan. And so I think that's what we try to do, or I try to do from a writing standpoint with Susto, and that bleeds into the production on the records, and then also into the live shows is like create the feeling of an experience, you know. And something that's a big part of that is yes, like the sort of I guess I would refer to it. It's like inspired by confessionalism and poetry, but it's also just like a sort of commitment to like documenting the experience, you know, like this like ride from birth to death that like I'm on and all, you know, you and everybody like I know around me is on, like just sort of like trying to make sense of it in a way that is spiritual and artistic and creates community, you
That's
know. So
all of any art too, though, right? To find those human experiences, those things that are ritualistic or, you mentioned religious, or you have references to religion and skepticism in your lyrics.
yeah, you know,
Because,
playfully I'm like, you know,
yeah,
I
when reference those for other people to experience your emotions, right? To share that is what it's all about, isn't it?
yeah, for sure. I mean, because I think also as like in my career, I feel like the things that have felt the most rewarding as a human being are the connections that have come through, like from this habit of writing songs and playing shows. And uh so like the human connection, like, and the way it's like changed my life, it's like I don't know, it's awesome.
That's all.
It's a fun thing, and I'm getting to have like a crazy, you know, truthful conversation with you right now. Like we just met, you know, here, and it's all because music is pulling this conversation together and this show together and this festival together, and
That's, the
all of it.
nonprofit here, in support of Totem. The whole point of it is the opportunity to experience live music. So we're attempting to share with other people, find ways to bring people from underserved communities or underprivileged backgrounds and give them a chance to go to a festival. Bonnaroo is the big one for us, but I was just at Halloween. Daniel of the Roo Bus was there with me. We do a lot of other festivals, and we're a big part of that. I think, to your point, music is this great language that can bring different people from different walks of life together.
Yeah, 100%, 1,000%, infinity%, as I would say with my daughter. It is, and I don't know, it's just a great thing to be able to sort of like be I mean, for me, like I've gotten to like make this my life, and it's like I feel very privileged to do it. I get to have a pretty regular connection with that connection. Um, I'm grateful for it.
Now, you have been a part of the music scene for a while, and it feels to me like a lot of what you've done has been very DIY. Not just writing, but you've done some of your own production as well. You had your own sub record label that you still work with, correct?
Yes, Acid Boys.
Yeah, Acid Boys. And then you
Yeah.
still also in production of shows do your own DIY. You just hosted your own Find Today festival, correct?
Yes, that's a festival we have out in the middle of Iowa. And yeah, and it's really fun. It's a very special place. We do that at Codfish Hollow. If you haven't seen a show there, it's only like a 600 cap barn tucked into this hollow in Iowa, and it's my favorite place to be
And you
doing a
just released
show or
the
hanging out.
live recording from there as well, right?
Yeah, we did. We've been going there and doing our own festival there um for several years. We started playing there about 10 years ago probably now, opening at shows. We met them through a friend of mine, Sean Moeller, there in the Quad Cities of Iowa, but it's just this beautiful uh place, and yeah, I'm really glad. That's another thing, like I'm so fortunate, man. I get to go out to this place once a year for a whole weekend and throw a festival like with bunch. It's sort of like a reunion, like with a bunch of my friends and folks that we love and admire, and we get to sort of make new friendships through like the festival lineup we curate. And also there's like camping, and it's just this beautiful rolling hills into a hollow in eastern Iowa, about 30 minutes from the Mississippi River, and it's beautiful. Codfish Hollow. If you're ever out that way, look up there. Like I don't care who's playing, just go see a show there.
Look,
It's an
listen to that
incredible place.
recording. It sounds really great. There's a energy that's palpable in the recording itself of the music you're playing that shows a love of the experience and a love of the location for sure.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And that making that record was fun because the band had been on tour for like 2 months leading up to it, and we were just knowing we were going to make it, and in sort of anticipation of it. And we had some of our friends from Atlanta producing it who had been like long, and they are still like long, like from almost like day one, like friends of the band. Like I met them trying to like get my first show in Atlanta forever ago, and they have their great production team, and they Greenhouse Atlanta, and they like set up like in this RV, like they were a CIA bus or something on the outside, and they were like it was a fun experience making that record. And it was like we sort of recorded it over 2 nights and produced it into like the way that it flows and everything. But I'm really proud of it because it's also the only like we're actually going to be getting better at releasing live recordings. We've been doing some collaborations with Nugs, which actually like at Halloween, that was our first time doing that. But I'm just the
No,
live. Yeah, and we're gonna be releasing like sort of retroactively some full SUSTO full band stuff coming up soon too. That's been sort of uh, harvested from the archive and curated by our drummer Marshall, who is a founding member of SUSTO, and our tour manager Ben, who is also like a producer. So yeah, we're excited about the live side, and we're excited about. I'm excited about all of it. I love like I've had a good time doing the string band stuff, and I'm excited about everything we have coming. We're gonna put another string band record out next year too. So I mean, not like I'm stopping that yet, but like I have started the process of making the next Susto record, which is a longer sort of like process for me in terms of making a record. Like the string band stuff, we go in there, we sort of rehearse, and we make it. We just work fast. But like with the rock band, I like to um take time and like paint, you know,
for sure.
and like not that we're not doing that with the string band too. It's just sort of been our pace. We just like work quick, but
It's exciting for me as a fan of you and of other artists, to see that come together, see the growth and the development of the live recordings, creating something new, developing new sounds or exploring new sonic territories. And I'm really
Yeah.
excited to have you on the stage at Bonnaroo, share our little DIY stage with you. Hopefully, enjoy our show a lot.
Well, I'm really excited about it because I have never been to Bonnaroo,
Okay.
and obviously, like, I'm from the Southeast, so like Bonnaroo has been on my radar since the first Bonnaroo, and I uh I just, I'm excited to finally be there, and to experience the sort of community around that festival, because I have a lot of people in my life who are close friends of mine who have been going every year for years, and that's the unfortunate thing about being a touring band. That is one of the things is you're always touring, so like you don't get to go to a lot of the festivals and shows you want to go to unless you play them. So like this is you guys have allowed me my first sort of like introduction to Bonnaroo, and I'm really excited about it. So
I can
um
say confidently, because this will be my 15th Bonnaroo this year, that it's a really
nice.
special place.
Cheers.
He's really strong. It's fun. People get weird, but they are also just truly fans of music. They're there for the music. I think you're gonna have an awesome turnout in the crowd.
Well, I'm excited for that. I
Yeah,
like to get weird too. So
yeah. Well, we can do that for sure. We'll talk about that off the podcast. So you've done a few other festivals. I know you were on the South by Southwest showcase this year as well, right?
yeah.
Uh,
I live in Austin now too, and I have for the last
okay.
few years. My wife is from here. And so we moved out here from Asheville. But yeah, South by has been sort of a part of my cycles and sort of routes for a long time when I was in like truly DIY bands back in, like the early 2000s, MySpace bands and all that, and but it's been fun to sort of just embrace South by from like a local, well, not a look. I'm not local. I know that. Don't
You are not,
Nobody
you
from
live there
Austin.
locally, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I live here and I love it, but I've been here 3 years. I'm not like my wife's a local. I married local,
Yeah.
but
Local family, I get it.
it's been fun to get to lean into the Austin scene so much and sort of be just honestly, I've been embraced so much. I feel so grateful for it because there's so many wonderful folks down here making music or supporting music, and it's like South by this past year was really fun. That's honestly like the string band was barely it was just an idea we had, and we had this record, and then we sort of did a lot of stuff around South by Southwest with the string band this year, sort of building on relationships I built around South by and like in Austin over the years. Like, and it was really fun. And it was honestly one of the reasons I think the band has sort of had the invites we've had later on was because of that. And what's that's led to. So I'm grateful to the Austin scene for being supportive and, just giving SUSTO and SUSTO String Band so much love
Yeah.
now and over the years.
I do love Austin. You mentioned earlier the kind of DIY community that goes on around South by Southwest, ACL. They're obviously this massive events, but there is still the community aspect which occurs around the city whenever those things are happening. Um,
Absolutely.
our good friend who will bring one of our two stages for the Wednesday party, Daniel Shapiro of Tiny Van Concerts, sets up
Yeah.
in Austin every year for some of those events, brings his own stage, DIYs everything. And he speaks very highly of the community like you're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those towns that just has a lot of music lovers in it, and I'm grateful to be, able to be living here. And I live, speaking of ACL Fest, I live just like 5 minutes from Zilker Park, where they throw that. And it's like it's so cool to see the city. Well, the city has this beautiful space, which is Zilker Park, and I love that place. And but it's cool to see the city sort of just it's not just the city. It's like, everyone is putting the festival on, the community, the like a whole, just put on a festival right that close to where I live, I'm like, I love to see it because like it's just inspiring in terms of like prioritizing that ritual and that sort of gathering in your community and like with the spaces that honestly have been used. I mean, don't even get me started on that because like there's been sacred uses of some of these spaces where music festivals are still held like by people and first peoples like for millennia. And it's I don't know, it's cool. I feel like a music festival sort of feels like this uh no matter who you are, it's like it's just this very human thing that like these gatherings of like they there's something about it that's in our DNA, all of us.
Yeah, I agree. There's a humongous sense of community, particularly in festivals that are larger in music centric places or that are camping where it is music centric. There's not you can't go to a bar, you can't escape really.
Well,
Now,
exactly. The camping like creates this like that's what I was so blown away by at too at Halloween was like I'd never been to a festival with that extensive camping. I've been to like, some pretty cool festival. We got to play summer camp actually like the last year they had it. That was I mean, that was probably my first introduction to that sort of scene.
Bonnaroo
I was
has 3 to
blown
4
away.
size of Halloween. It's camping everywhere. It's about 700 acres in size. So I think you're going to see, this entire city basically pops up out of nowhere and everybody's just there.
I know.
They got to experience
I
music.
I love that. Everybody comes in, sets up their own little home base, and it's just this. It's so cool. That's sort of what I anticipated with Bonnaroo because I knew it was a camping. All my friends that always go is like it's such a part of it. Like your camping experience and that whole side of the festival is like just as important as everything else.
Big part of what we're doing with the show as well. Centeroo, the official center area, opens on Thursday. Wednesday, everybody's there camping. So we are trying to work with the community to provide music for the community. So everybody that's sitting around has nothing to do. This is where they end up. And it's really great to just be on stage right by my campground. My tent's, 20 yards away. And I see this crowd of people enjoying something that we've been able to DIY together.
Yeah, I love it. I love the whole just like because that was how it was sort of explained to me as like when we first were invited, I was and through Brent who was talking to me about it, and I was like, man, that sounds so fun, like being right in the camp with everybody, and I don't know, I'm excited for it because that's sort of it just speaks to everything I've sort of been talking about and in this conversation, and we've been talking about that sort of connection. That's just like feels like the epitome of that. You know what I mean?
It does
And
feel like that to me as well. Obviously, I've been going a long time, but Bonnaroo's become a sense of home at this point. I look forward to this excursion every year to be a part of this community that is accepting and passionate and artistic and creative in all these ways that, your not normal 9 to 5 day job and a city doesn't always offer you.
yeah, I feel that. And I like, these, like I was like having these rituals that are on your calendar, these experiences with people and places and spirit that you like have, gone back to year after year. It becomes more and more important every year, and
What you're saying earlier, where music is this connecting thread, through which all these things come together. It's really magical to be able to share that. And, we're really grateful to have you sharing your music, which is, experiential, and you're sharing that with us. It's going to be really awesome.
well, thank you very much. We're looking forward to it. And I'm excited about it too, because the band is going to be back together then and then sort of the month before for the first time in a few months, and but we've already been sort of planning on what the set's going to be like, and I'm going to have some of my best friends in the world out there with me, and I'm excited for it. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're excited to rock and lean into the experience. And
Or you guys get back together ahead of Bonnaroo, get back to the SUSTO band. You're touring with the string band right now, yeah?
yeah, I am. I mean, I've got only a few more shows this year, and that's right.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'll see you at Terminal West. It's gonna be really fun.
I book and promote some shows and go to as many as I can. Brent and I will be at that one together.
Nice. Yeah. Well, I'm excited. Obviously, I love Atlanta. Atlanta's been really supportive and great to Susto over the years, and I'm excited to bring our first proper Susto string band show to Atlanta, especially Terminal West. And yeah, and I'm going to be out on the road with the string band, sort of. I think just the Southeast for the rest of this
You got
year.
some
But
North Carolina dates, some South Carolina dates. I think I remember like Charleston coming up. That's
yeah,
great to share it here because a lot of the people that are listening, Bonnaroo is a Southeastern festival. A lot of the
right.
people around here are in the Southeast. So Atlanta, Mobile, I think Asheville, Greenville, and Charleston are all coming up on there. If you're curious, guys, definitely go check them out. They're going to
That's
put
a
on.
great point. That is a great point. And I hope if you guys are listening to this or watching this and you're in one of those areas or your interest is piqued by the conversation, check out our tour dates because we will be out. This is with the string band, which is not what you'll see. We will have the rock band at the festival in June. But between now and then, I am going to be touring a lot with Susto String Band and some touring with the rock band as well. But there's also going to be a Susto String Band record coming out in the spring, I think, as well. So I will continue to be sort of bouncing between the two projects next year.
Because it's a chance to see, the string band again this year, and then see you in the rock band next year and see both sides of what you, Justin, are bringing, to the table and providing everybody else musically. So I'm excited to get kind of both sides of that in about a 6-month window.
Yeah, it's honestly, like I said, I think I said this earlier. It's like it's really fun for me to go in between because there's the two lean into like different sort of uh like equally interesting and fun experiences. They're both experiential and in two sort of different ways, like one uh but yeah, so I'm excited to be doing both. And so if you want to come and see the string band on tour, please do that. And I'm definitely excited to be seeing everybody at our shows and at all the festivals and everything. It's like, I'm just grateful people keep coming, and I'm just glad
Well, we're
that
grateful to have
I
you.
get to do it. Yeah.
We got to wrap it up here in just a moment. Before we do, though, we'll get back to Bonnaroo specific for a second. First time coming, but I know that there's a lot of lore in the music scene about Bonnaroo. Is there anything you've heard about that you're excited to experience, or do you have questions about? Maybe some, moment in the past that stuck out to you that has connected with you wanting to be a part of the Bonnaroo experience beyond the farm, as we call it, and be a part of the music there. Like any in particular things.
Well, honestly, I feel like this is the perfect uh invite and first experience for me because like and I sort of like I think maybe mentioned this before, but like most of the stories that people have brought back to me from Bonnaroo are camp stories. And like and definitely like the bands the artists they saw and everything, that's always a huge part of it. But like sort of what has always stuck out to me is those stories. And I'm not gonna, share, none of them are mine, so I'm not gonna share any of those. But some of them are,
Most people listening can imagine the worst or the best.
yeah. And yeah, so I'm excited to experience that, because that's and be right there because that's sort of what my preconceived notion, having not gone, like it is, and I say that word has a negative connotation, but I mean that in like that's just, that's what how when I think about Bonnaroo, I think about the camping and the sort of community that pops up around it. And
Well, you're about to be
so I'm
right in the middle of the community. I think you're going to make 70,000 new best friends that week.
yeah, I'm stoked for that. I love that. So yeah, so that's it's sort of nail on the head for me, so that's what I'm really excited about, is getting to play in the middle of the lore that I've heard.
Yeah. No, I'm just super excited to have you again, guys. The Wednesday party is officially back on. Suso is one of our headline acts. Please be there next year. Trying to go even bigger, louder, and better than we did last year, both on Wednesday and as well on Thursday. Plus, there will be some other music going on throughout the weekend. Like I mentioned, some other groups we've been in talks with. We're working with some other smaller communities or group camps like our own to make sure there's events going on in Plaza 5 group camping all throughout the weekend whenever you want something to do. Justin, I guess we got to wrap this up in a second. Anything else you want to close out with? Anything you want to shout out, or anything you want to kind of promote before we close up tonight?
Well, I appreciate you guys having us out. And like you mentioned, in the meantime, between now and June, when we see you guys on the farm, I will be on tour with the string band and the rock band. So I encourage folks to look at those dates and come see us, and keep an eye out for the music too, because we're putting out some live recordings via Nugs from the rock band, and we also got a SUSTO string band Volume 2 studio recording coming out next year too.
A lot of people listening to this are Nug subscribers, myself included. So now we all have something else to go download and listen to while we're, going about our days this week, which is awesome.
Please do. And yeah, thanks again for having me on. It's been a pleasure to chat about music and community and all these things. And I can't wait to be there. And the band is all really looking forward to it. So we'll see y'all in June.
Yeah, we'll see you. Thank you for your time, man. Really appreciate it. Thank you everybody else for listening, giving us your time today. Keep listening to the podcast. You'll hear more about the Wednesday party. We will be announcing more artists as we get into spring. We're just so excited about this one that we wanted to get it out there first, get out there earlier, and start building the hype. So thank you guys. Y'all have a great night. Thank you so much, Justin.
Thank you. Night.
All right, big thanks to Matty and SUSTO.
Yeah, and again, I can't thank Matty and Andrew enough for putting this together. That's a pretty big act. We're very happy to have them. So guys, make sure that you come in early so you can party with us that Wednesday. I think a lot of other surprises are in store as well. Now, we got some other stuff. In fact, I've got some tea for you here in just a minute. But I understand we had a couple of questions from our Discord. We thought we were going to have to fill some time until a lot of news dropped today.
We do. We have some questions from the Discord community.
What do we got here?
So Skylar wants to know, what is Sharla's hair routine?
Oh, God, here we go.
So I'm going to show you guys what my hair routine is. Now, keep in mind the hair that I have on now,
Is it fake? Is it a wig?
No, it's not. It's my natural hair. The hair right now has not been washed in 3 days. So we're looking at a 3-day wash cycle right here. So normally, what I do...
She's got a whole box.
I always wash with Selsun Blue, either this or a prescription shampoo. I do have seborrheic dermatitis, which is, for lack of a better word, severe dandruff, and I have to use some type of medicated shampoo. But for conditioner, I will use, it's generic for It's a 10 Miracle. I get this at Sally's, and it's about half the price as the regular It's a 10.
I borrowed some of that.
It's fine.
It worked pretty well.
I used a combination of that and a combination of L'Oreal Everpure. And this is sulfate free, but this is for colored hair. As you notice, I did go back to brown after being red for quite a long time.
Wait, this stuff was in the shower, and I thought it was like a face thing. I put it on my face, and I didn't know any better.
It literally says deep conditioning.
Well, my face is conditioned. Thank you.
Oh, you didn't know it was conditioner?
I wasn't paying any attention.
Okay.
You have another thing that looks like that is some kind of like face soap.
So when I get out of the shower, first things first, mousse. This is extra hold mousse right here. I will flip my hair over and lather up the roots with mousse. You got to put the mousse in your roots. Don't put it on your ends. You got to put it in your roots because that's what's going to give you the extra volume.
You need to be teaching Lacey all this stuff.
So I do.
Does she listen?
Yes. So I always use a heat protectant on my hair. So this one is the OGX Bond Protein Repair, but it is a 450-degree heat protectant spray. Always use that. I also use this Nexus Blow Dry Frizz Cream. I'll just use like a tiny, like dime size amount of this, and I'll just spread it throughout the midsection of my hair and the ends of my hair. And then I use this Epic Shine Anti-Humidity Spray, which is really, really good for making your hair like shiny and glossy and things like that.
Yes, it is.
So after I'm done putting on all my products, then I use this Revlon blow dry brush. And Daniel got me this for Christmas last year. And honestly, I kind of wish I had gotten one with a smaller barrel on it. But it works for like straightening my hair when I want to wear my hair straight. Sometimes I do my hair curly. Sometimes I do it straight. It really just depends on
Christmas is coming again.
On the mood. That's not what I want for Christmas.
No.
Don't. But yes, and I will blow it out, and then sometimes I'll go over it with a flat iron or a curling iron, again, just depending on the mood. So that's my entire hair routine right there.
Wow, thank you. I did not know it was going to be this extensive. She told me she was going to talk about it a little bit, but I didn't realize you should be doing like whole YouTube videos about how to do that.
No,
we can host that on our channel.
There's people that are so much better at that kind of thing than I am. No.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
Now, we did think we were going to answer a bunch of questions before we got a lot of news, like I said. So I think what we are going to do later in the week, let's record something audio only for our Patreon.
Oh, we should do that, yeah.
We'll do that and get through a lot of questions. Because we have so many more questions we got to go through. But I have one for you. Oh, really? Okay, what?
What are you looking forward to for Thanksgiving? What type of food?
Oh, man. I prefer the ham over the turkey, to be honest. Like, turkey is something that's tough to cook right. If you don't get it like all juicy and it's dry, it's no good. And I'm not going to call anybody out. But ham is a lot easier for anybody to make. In fact, you can just go to the grocery store and it's pretty much ready to go. Ham's the way to go on Christmas over turkey. Hot take for the day.
Okay, you said you weren't going to call anybody out, just so everybody knows he's not talking about me.
No.
Because till the day he damn died over, your grandpa was still going on about that turkey I made in 2007.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I remember that.
I can cook.
We had just got the house and we invited the whole family over here for Thanksgiving and never did it again for reasons. But yes, let's go through a lot more of these questions just for our Patreons. We'll do that here in a couple of days. Now, I did promise some tea. You know what's coming soon. I can't say any dates, but I think a lot of people have put a lot of puzzle pieces together. The Owl has already talked about what we're going to have on Thursday night. Andrew talked about what we're going to have on Sunday night. I'm going to be dramatic and take a drink because something's in my throat.
What are you drinking?
Okay, somebody asked me this, so I can answer that question. I have this drink on our show a lot. Somebody was asking me, like, man, you're really chugging the wine. No, it's seltzer with a little bit of cranberry juice in it. I drink that all the time, man. It's my go-to.
You're obsessed with cranberry juice.
Yeah, it's great. Anyways, a lot of people have been, wondering what are we going to have like Friday and Saturday? Those have been the questions. I'm not going to tell you who, but I'm going to give you a little hint.
I mean, it's already all over the internet. I don't know what.
Listen, it's not my place to announce things, but I can give you a little hint because I think at this point I can ask for forgiveness instead of permission. So Friday, there are two big things I'm looking forward to. One is a band I have wanted to see for a very, very, very long time and have never seen. 2002 era Daniel is freaking out over this. And also there is a act that I think everybody's going to be very happy with that I hope is playing late night. Saturday is going to be an act that a lot of people have wanted to see on the farm for a very long time. They have wanted to see them headline. And they have played Roo before, but it's been a long time. They were in a tent last time, if I recall correctly. This will be an incredible stage, or an incredible show on the wet stage, excuse me. It's been a long day, y'all. But I'm not going to say any more. I just wanted to give you a little tease. A lot of you probably know what I'm talking about. Those that haven't been plugged in, I think you're going to be happy. But anyways, to round this out, we got a couple of picks. You did your hair care. Is that your pick?
No.
Oh, you have a pick?
Yes. You go ahead. You go first.
Well, I just want to shout out Evan because he recommended to me the show Pluribus, which we're about to watch because they're airing it early because of Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Him and Skylar were talking about that and got me hooked. It is a Vince Gilligan joint. Skylar talked about it on the show last week on the Girls Only episode. She went into great detail about that, and I want to endorse everything that she said about it. It's a Vince Gilligan joint. He did Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad, a bunch of X-Files back in the day. Yeah. The less you know, the better. You probably already read some about it, but man, it's such a fun sci-fi concept. It takes what would have been a really great episode of the X-Files or something like that and stretches it out into a whole thing. And I love being able to do a deep dive into the concept. Don't read about it if you haven't already. You'll love the surprise. What's your pick?
The Chair Company.
Oh, yes. Why didn't I think to mention that?
So we started watching it this week.
Yeah.
I'd seen like a couple people in our Discord recommend it. It's Tim Robinson, and it's so hilarious. As someone who would definitely get obsessive about something like that, hell yeah, yes.
I never was able to get into I Think You Should Leave. It was a little too cringy for me.
This is
fun.
It's got that perfect like hint of cringe that makes it so good.
Just a little.
Just like a tiny hint.
Not over
like
the top.
A hint.
It is the trippiest new season of True Detective ever. it's like a big mystery in addition to being like over the top and kind of cringy. I love it too. But guys, all right. You know what's coming here before too long. We are going to have 2 episodes drop in a week when it does happen. So please stay tuned. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button like Lacey talked about last week. I'll leave that to her. But again, thank you so much to our Patrons for supporting the show, for supporting Totem. I'm tongue-tied this week, man. I'm supposed to be a broadcaster with these things.
For supporting Totem.
Yes, thank you. We want to thank you guys. We have really come a long way this year, and we're able to get great guests. Not just like Corey and Tuba, but some of the guys from Old Crow. This has been a dream interview for us for a long time. So thank you for getting us to where we are. We appreciate you. And we want to have the goods for you. So stay tuned because it's coming soon. But until then, you know this already. Get out there and radiate positivity.
Bye.
It's me and you eat some dinner and watch the show.
Bye.